Hello everybody, Arxis here with something new actually. I recently realized because Sonic had like the 25 years anniversary, and I realized despite the fact Sonic the Hedgehog is one of my, not one of my the most favorite video game ever, I surprisingly don't have too much Sonic the Hedgehog content on my channel. So I decided to fix it, and I decided to do with this, which is, as you can tell, the video game deconstruction. And what I mean by deconstruction, you can probably think, okay, what the hell is deconstruction? It is this concept which I have in my mind for a relatively long time. It's basically like review, except I go a little more like, instead of review game, I sort of like want to go a little more into detail in terms of how it's game, how like game work, what's the game mechanics, like enemies, levels, all sorts of details. This is one thing which I want to do here. And I know this actually on this is obviously Steam version, and these Mega Drive slash Genesis, depends where you live, thing have this nifty new interface which I really like. That's really nice touch. You have some posters here, you have TV, of course, Mega Drive, and some settings. So yeah, it is really stylish and I like this a lot. It's carpet with Sonic actually. So yeah, I wanna have some details on all Sonic's which games which I have. I can do some other games which are not part of this. I can do Sonic CD, and I can do Sonic Free and Knuckles, because yeah, it's just a great game. So yeah, I do basically like, I want to talk about all kind of things, and I want to go like really deep in the details because this is something which I want to do. So let's do this. And we're going right inside the game. Okay, so for some reason the game is really loud. I actually turn noises like low as I possibly can, so hopefully you can hear me without problems. But yeah, here we are, Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh yes, this game I remember like it was like yesterday when I played like first time. Yeah, I have so much memories with this game. So let's get started with the deconstruction of this thing. So obviously the first thing which I wanna talk here is how the game is controlled, because I think this game, like, despite the fact you control game basically only with the D-pad and one button, which really isn't much, you can do surprisingly many things here, and control of the game is actually pretty advanced here. So let's start with some really basic stuff, and that is movement. So Sonic don't have run button. Instead, you're going slowly first, and then you accelerate, which is not only very realistic, but it's really effective because you have a control. If I wanna go like really slow, I can slowly tap button and I can move really slowly, which is good for platforming. If I wanna go faster, I can hold D button longer and I get more speed, which is great. So yeah, no run button here. Still, it's done really realistically and really practically. You always have control over Sonic's movement. Another important thing is jumping. Jumping is a big part of any platformer because there is always these platform and you jump on them. This is the reason why it's called platformer. Similar to running, Sonic jumping abilities are basically longer you hold the button, the higher you jump. Which again, I think it's relatively like, it's not exactly necessarily realistic, but it is really practical because if I want, I can just do like this really small tiny jumps, and if I hold button longer, then you can see there is like if you see the line of water on background, and if I do like small jump, I just jump barely above like water. If I hold button longer, I jump much more higher, which again is a nice thing, which giving you more control over your character. There is another feature which I don't know how many people actually know this, but if you jump on enemy and you basically hit your enemy, you sort of bounce up, and if you hold the jump button this whole time, you actually have this kind of like infinite bouncing effect, which is a small addition on the Sonic move test. I don't think this is something which been done on purpose, but there is few situations, not too much, but there is few situations where you can basically get advantage from this, and being like basically bounce for like really high. If you like jump, let's say like 50 meters and hit enemy, then you would just bounce slightly, but if you hold the button, then you jump like back the 50 meters. I think you actually go not exactly as high. I think you can actually go even higher if you can do this multiple times, but that's maybe be only my imagination. In terms of jumping, there is another interesting thing, and unlike like jumping on enemies is something which in platformers is almost all game characters do, but Sonic being a Sonic put this attack on a whole new level, because basically in other Sonic games you basically need, in order to kill them, you need jump on them, which means you need to hit them with your feet from above. Sonic, being a hedgehog, basically doing somersault, and while he jumping, he basically turned in a spiky ball, which means, unlike other platformers, you can hit enemies with any angle, which is really advanced. And somebody can basically say like, okay, that's a little too easy, that's a remove challenge. I would say not really, because just with like you have upgraded moveset, then enemies are upgraded too, and some enemies are easier to hit some specific angles. So basically, on one side, enemies are a little more tricky to kill, and you just need like being able to realize where is their weak spot, and you can take advantage from this. So that's definitely a good thing. Another thing is button up and down. If you hold up, then you can like look up, which is nice feature, but honestly I don't think there is too many occasions where you can actually take advantage from this. The same thing is if you hold down, which right is really not visible because there is nothing underneath, then you can look what's under you. So sometimes it's useful, but most of the time not really much. Another thing which you can do with other platformers, not every time, but some platformers allowing you basically crawling, basically going in some tight spaces. Sonic, again being Sonic, basically put this feature in a whole new level, and he can do something a little more effective, and that is rolling. So basically, if you start moving fast and you get a little bit of momentum, you hold down and you may basically rolling, which is much more faster, and you can also kill enemies by doing this. So that is definitely a nice thing. Another interesting thing about rolling is way how Sonic behave in terms of movement is slightly altered while you're rolling. First and is most importantly, you lose ability to accelerate. You cannot accelerate. You can only like moving by basically having momentum. However, your top speed and your momentum is much higher. So if you move basically from slope, you can do this and you can build some ridiculous speed, which is basically what Sonic is famous for, which is one thing which is really significant for Sonic. And also, as I said, before, some enemies here are like much easier to like kill this way. I can like imagine one thing which always like, because I know there are some people who can play like basically Nintendo games and Sega games at the same time. I am not one of them. I'm basically a hardcore Sonic fan and I don't play Nintendo games at all. Maybe there is one exception and that is Super Metroid, but that's like only one. And I would say like Sonic being a character who basically being created, basically being superior Mario, I think if this was a plan of Sega, then I think that plan really succeed. I personally believe that. Because if you imagine game with level design such as Sonic the Hedgehog, if Sonic and Mario ever switch world, then Sonic in a Mario world, I believe he'd be perfectly fine, because Sonic is basically capable to do anything what Mario can do, and more. But if Mario be in a Sonic game, he will have some really hard time. Like there will be some enemies which giving him like really hard time, and he will be like stuck on the first loop. So yeah, Sonic 1, Plumber 0 points. Take that, Mario. Anyway, we cover basically. Oh yes, by the way, one thing which I almost forget. Do you remember when I mentioned that infinite bouncing? If you hold the button while you jump, well, if you fall from a cliff and while you are rolling, then you create a same effect. Honestly, as I said, I don't think this is something which Sega did on purpose. I think it was more like a result of way how Sonic is controlled. It's more, I don't think it's something which been done on purpose. So I think this is everything about how Sonic is controlled, and I must say this is the reason why I pay attention by this is basically, if you realize you control game just with the D-pad and one button, that's pretty advanced moveset for such a simple control. So I am really impressed. So we can talk more about other features which are here, which are things. First, as we can see, you have score, which in this game is pretty much useless, because score really don't do anything. We have also time, which showing like I'm losing time and I die on time right now, which happens right now. Yes, nice timing. So if you are too long, I personally must say I really hate if games have a time limit. With Sonic the Hedgehog, however, I really don't care, because you have 10 minutes, which in normal circumstances, like because now I'm talking, so that takes some time and I actually die for time. But if you play game normally, due to the fact how quickly can Sonic move, normally you really even don't notice there is time limit. So that's really one thing. So in this game you actually can die on time, as which is something which I just demonstrated, but it's really don't happen too frequently. Like most of the time you have tons of time to finish the level, and I think this is good thing. I believe in later games the time been completely removed, I think. So yeah, but still, if you're one of those individuals who care about score, like maybe you have a little brother and you wanna like compete with him, like do you have better score than him and he wanna beat your record or something, then score can be a good thing for you. But in this game, at least in this Sonic game, score really don't do anything. So that is score. We also mentioned time. If you are fast in game, then you can get a time bonus which give you like score, but as I said, score really don't do anything. So unless you wanna beat somebody's score, then it's really nothing to me. Which bringing us another feature in the game, and that is rings. Oh yes, rings is the one thing which is really significant and really iconic for Sonic. Other games use diamonds or coins. Sonic had rings. I never understand why rings, but I guess they wanna make like Sonic different. I don't know, but rings are really important thing. One thing about rings is rings can give you like serious protection in the game, because if you take a hit, you lose all rings, which is one thing which pretty much everyone know. But long as you have at least one ring, then you are pretty much invincible. If I go and take a hit, then long as I grab that ring really quickly, then I'm fine. And that is basically basic rule to surviving in a Sonic game. Always, no matter what happens, always have at least one ring. Long as you follow this rule, you are almost invincible. You can take a hit, you get a less score, and if you don't lose these rings, there are some actually benefit which we talk later. But yeah, if you collect hundreds of rings, you get an extra life. But to be perfectly honest, I really don't need lives too much in this game, because this game is really easy. Like for me anyway. I can imagine like the game is pretty much meant to be like for little kids, and I remember when I was little, the game was, I had a hard time to play the game because I was like a little kid and I had very little experience with the game. So if you don't know what to do, game can be a little difficult for you. But if you play game long as I do, then over the course of years the game will be like super easy for you. And it's, if you especially like, game is basically built for like speed, like for fast movement. But if you want to go to those people, nobody actually forced you to go fast. So if you want to go slowly and explore the level and collect much rings as you can score really lots of extra lives here. So it is really easy. Also, if you go in the end with at least 50 rings, you can go to bonus stages, which can give you even more rings, even more scores, and can give you continue. But other than that, they really don't do anything. You can get Chaos Emerald in this game. There is only 6 of them. I don't know why. So bonus levels stay no, not bonus level, special stages, because special station and bonus level are two different things, which bonus stages actually are not in this game yet. Later, yes. So if you do all special stages, then you have slightly different endings, which by itself really don't do anything amazing. So that is really not the point to do it in doing this. But if you are one of those people who like want some extra challenge, do bonus stages. I will show bonus stages later. Yeah, so we covered Sonic movement, we covered all features, we covered rings, and I think from here we can move the stages itself. So finally, that would be some movement. So we are now I wanna talking about stage itself and enemies. Of course, enemies are really not too big deal here, but they are still here. So yeah. So first we are in Green Hill, which is really iconic level for Sonic. But the one thing which is nice, the first 2 stages I believe is possible beat under 30 seconds. If you do that, you get like 50,000 points, a bonus for time, which is like what? Which, as I said, is really don't mean, if you don't care about score, then it really don't do anything. If you do, however, there is a nice chance to score some like really huge bonus. I don't think even if you collect all rings in the game, you don't get as much. But yeah, this level is relatively safe. There is nothing too much like dangerous here, just a few things small, nothing crazy. So let's go and explore this level a little more. So we have these little robots. They really are not too dangerous. And they don't shoot, they do anything. You can attack them like any way you wish. But honestly, I think the best way to attack them is by rolling, because they move on straight line and this is like easiest way to take them down. But if you want to jump on them, it's easy to kill them this way as well, but it's not necessary. They are not super speed, they are like one of the weakest enemies in the game. Another enemy we have here are these things. Yeah, so it looks like sort of like wasp. They are a little more tricky to deal with because they are faster and they shoot at him. Fortunately, there is basically delay before they shoot you, and you have time to react. So, but if your timing is bad, then they can accidentally hit you. So, yeah, that's kind of things can happen. We also find another thing, which are these boxes, which can give you all kinds of bonuses. In this case, this is just a 10 rings. I really don't know why they feel need to put like 10 rings if they are basically rings all over the place, but bam, you can. Okay, we can talk about another thing, and that's the springs, which is really not visible right now, but yeah, they can bounce you really up and they are important thing. There's two type of springs. There's yellow, which is here, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, there's yellow, which are not too strong, and there is also red, which are much more stronger and they launch you really high on sky. We have another enemy here, which are these robotic fishes, which they are not super dangerous because again they don't shoot anything, but they are not visible. So again, if you don't know about they are here, they can like catch you surprised, and they're really not super dangerous, but it is actually surprisingly easy to take hit from them because they like if your timing is bad, especially this kind of thing can happen. Now there is another bonus here, which is invisibility. I believe this thing has 30 seconds where you are completely invincible. You cannot take any damage at all, and you can come on, shoot me. No, he doesn't. So yeah, so it don't take forever. So it's better like have some idea how long this works. Good protection. It can like basically the best thing which you can do if you get invincibility. Basically, run fast as you can and blaze through the stage, so long as this effect working. Now we have these crabs, which are a little more tricky because they shoot, and they shoot like relatively frequently, as you can see. And I'm dying for time again. Yep. Okay, so I can take advantage from this, and I think I can demonstrate the one thing here, and that is that infinite bouncing which I mentioned. So look how high I am, and bam! Can you see how high I'm allowed to bounce this bounce? This is because I hold the whole jump button this whole time. So I think that was a nice opportunity for demonstration things feature. If I bounce like on enemy normally, then you can see I then like bounce just slightly. So that's a good thing. So as I can go over to these crap, they are a little more tricky. They are not super dangerous, but they have not too much range, but they attack relatively frequently. So they by themselves are not too dangerous, but they basically shooting and they can actually hit you. They are a little unpredictable at times. Like not super dangerous, but yeah. Sometimes these fishes really don't jump as far, and as I said, it is like you can like rolling. Good thing is they exist only on these bridges, so there is kind of like usually you can tell they are here, but it's surprisingly easy to take a hit from them. So let's move on. There is another of these things. You can see them better right now. Oh yes, and if you kill enemies, they are basically animals trapped inside them, so you can basically free them, which is really nice touch. Basically saying Sonic basically doing some actual hero stuff here. Here is what I said before, is a yellow spring, so we can see it like in detail how these things look like. And there are also some this collapsing things which are a little tricky, sometimes you don't notice them. And yeah, this is this infamous feature normally. Okay, and I'm lost. Well, I guess I can start again, never mind. So let's see, let's start again, because normally I don't dying as fast, because this is because I'm just wasting my time for talking. So let's move on really quickly back to this location where I've been originally, so I can continue. Die. Nice. So we have these falling back. I believe there is more of these things in the game. Yeah. So if you hit on them, they like collapse. You have split of second before they collapse completely. Of course, we have spikes, which are most dangerous thing. Normally, you have like invisibility frame where you have few seconds like blinking, and you are invisible. But if you hit the spikes, then the effect is gone. I believe some other, not all versions of Sonic have this feature, because people kinda don't like it, and I don't blame them, because it's really easy to die on these things. They are basically everywhere. But see, when I have rings, and I'm okay. Okay, let's go down. In the game, there is many like hidden places here, where are all kinds of goodies hidden. So we can move on and discover more from this level. Here is another thing, and that is basically a checkpoint. If you die, then you don't start from the beginning, you start from the last checkpoint. In later games, they have more meanings, they do more things, and yeah, they have more uses. So we have also loops, which are another thing which is really iconic for Sonic. It's impossible like go normally through them, which is exactly as I said before. If Mario be in Sonic Worlds, then he do this and he will be basically stuck here. So this is one of the things where you basically need, okay, this is another enemy. So let's, I don't know if they are here. Okay, I don't know. So yeah, they are invisible first, and they can turn in this strange form. Similar, they are basically really similar to these bugs. Like, they are invisible first, and they will like appear, and they do this. So you can jump on them. They are really not super dangerous. If you go far from place where they originally went, I believe they respawn, but after you destroy them, they not. No, he is no longer here. Okay, so that's nice. Let's see, can I go here? Is there something here? I don't remember. Let's see. Just a bunch of rings, and that's it. Okay. Okay, now there's one thing which I can actually demonstrate here, and that is, as I mentioned before, you have basically control how high Sonic can jump. So if I just jump just slightly, I can jump here. But if I hold the button longer, I am like going up. Also, another thing which I want to demonstrate here is the rolling. If you go from a slope and the rolling, you can build some really serious speed here. Really fast. Really fast movement. And there's also these things which I believe they are exactly like they are like these things before, which I mentioned before. I don't know, I don't remember. But here is another crop. Nothing special is. I believe I covered almost everything here. There's few more things which I didn't mention. But I think we can find them in another wall. So let's don't waste more time here and let's go in the end. I of course don't have a bonus stage because I don't have enough rings. So hopefully I'll be able to fix that in the next level. Here's score screen, nothing special. And from here we go right in the next level. Which is basically same level. Okay, this is one of those places where you can basically take advantage from your ability. If I jump too high, then I won't be able to reach this location here, but because I can decide how much I want to jump, then I can go and reach one of those hidden locations, such as this one. There's actually many of these through the game. One of the things which I don't think is exclusive for this stage specifically are these unbreakable walls. Let me do this first. Yeah, okay, I think I guess she's jumping more. Okay, another thing which is significant here is shield. You can take extra hit, no lose any rings. That's great. And another bonus which is here is speed. Honestly, it is great to move fast, but I actually don't think this speed is necessarily a good thing, because as I mentioned before, you have perfect control over your movement of your character, and with the speed is nice to have like extra speed, but it's also you losing little control, so it is cool, but at the same time it's really, I don't think it's that useful. Something completely else is if you are lucky and you are able to collect invincibility and speed at the same time, then it can be really useful. So yeah, so let me break through, and you can actually move super ridiculously fast right now. And I died. Oops. So yeah, I believe I am pretty much done with as these things are here. I don't think yeah. As I said, you can still take hits from these things because they are little unpredictable here. So I think I cover everything which is significant for this level. I don't think there are any new enemies here. Let's see if I can go in the bonus stage. And yes, these things shooting at me. Many enemies actually react on only if you are close enough. So let's see if I can get that bonus stage. Oh yes, I have bonus stage, nice. So if you have at least 50 rings, then you can go in the bonus, in a special stage, which looks like a giant ring. And you can score an extra emerald. The first one is really easy, as you may expect, but later they become more and more difficult. So they have its own thingies, like you have these bumpers which really don't do anything, but they can sometimes send you somewhere where you really don't want to be, and you can basically dig through these R symbols. They basically change the rotation of the maze, so That is a little tricky avoiding them, but and emerald is mine. Yeah, so that's nice. I believe if you collect 50 rings while you're on a special stage, you get one continue, which you start from start of the zone, not start for the or start of the level. I don't remember, but yeah. So that is, I believe, one last thing which I didn't show here, and that is, I think, a red spring, I believe. So is there any red springs here? I don't know. But yeah, that is basically this first zone here, which is Green Hill. Nothing special here except things which I mentioned before. And from here you can basically go directly in the... Oh yes, here is actually a red spring, so... Actually, yes, here is... sometimes springs facing different direction. And as you can see, the red one have much more punch. If I like hit this, it's launched me like here. Like they are much stronger than blue than yellow. So and sometimes they can be useful, and sometimes they really not. Sometimes they can launch you in the bottomless pits, which in this level, like this is actually a good example. If I hit this spring right here, it sends me like in my death here. Well, that is this thing. If you hit a spike from sight, they really don't do anything, but if you jump on them, they do. So you need to be really careful, because sometimes can a spring launch you somewhere where you really don't want to be. Like for example, if they are spiked, which are like these ones. So that's is a little thing here. Okay, so I think we are pretty much done with the level. Okay, this actually is one little thing. One thing which is I believe special just for this zone is this catwalk, which is rotating and there are spikes on them. You can like move and don't touch the spike, which is one of those moments where like it's really important. You can decide how far you want to go, which is if you go on this bridge too slow or too fast, you take a hit. Of course, if you are invisible, then you don't really need to care about this, but this is one of those things where sonic control is really important. You can decide how fast you want to be, and it is absolutely important for sections like this one. I believe this obstacle here is unique for this zone. I don't think it's anywhere else. So yeah, I believe we are done with the Green Hill zone, and we can move to another zone. So give me a sec, I will go there in a second. Oh yeah, there is actually one more thing which I forget to mention, and that is the final bosses. The first boss actually, there is actually a hidden invisibility, and if you can collect it, then you can like absolutely destroy him without any hits. He just moving this really slow wrecking ball, and it's really no big deal. Like normally there is a strategy if you need wait before he actually is here, but if you have invisibility, he is not the problem here. Bosses, I believe they take 8 hits, I think, and after you killing them, there is like this capsule which rescue a bunch of animals. Each boss has obviously a different strategy. This one is really easy, no surprise, it's a first level after all. So yeah, as I said, Green Hill is really good introduction level. There's nothing like terribly difficult. They are fast, they are good introduction for a game, and from there you can do and continue. Okay, so I will see you in the next level. And we are in Marble Zone. Okay, this level actually presents relatively high difficulty spike compared to Green Hill Zone because there is few nasty enemies here and a few things which are a little more hard. So let's go and explore. So there is these things which are nothing much new here, but we have a lava. Fall in the lava and you're done. Surprisingly, lava isn't dangerous as spikes. Then we have these robotic worms here. Um, one thing which is really significant, you basically need to take them in a hit. So you can jump on them or you can rolling on them, but I think rolling is a little better option here. They like if you aiming is good, you can jump on them. But if you aiming is bad, then it's bad. So let me try. I trying like being a little more stylish and hit them with the jump. Bam! Yes, nicely done. But usually take them down with rotating. It's a little more safe method. Not every time there is, however, enough space to do that. So sometimes you basically must jump on them. Obviously, as I said before, lava is not good for your health. So if we move on and continue by exploring, there is more of these things. And as I said, sometimes these things can actually get you surprised if your timing is bad. There's also this like fireballs spitting from lava, which they are of course dangerous. So you better avoid them. And one thing, they are like main reason why this zone is much more dangerous because they are all over the place, just like lava. So as I said, this actually for second level, it's actually huge difficulty spike here. There is few hidden places, some extra ranks because why not, and we can continue. Or another thing which is really significant for these levels are these things. If you jump on them just for a split of a second, then you are basically fine. But if you stay too long, they catch on fire and you can take a hit. So be careful when you are on them. There is another shield here, and we have these things. Be careful, these things can you crush. And there is nothing, not even invincibly, which can protect against this effect, which is actually something that happens frequently. Now we have these like jet bats. They really are not like surprisingly dangerous. They just flying, they don't shoot, they don't do anything, but they are all over the place. So even if they are basically like flying version of these bugs. So they are usually easy to destroy, but sometimes there can be many of them, and if you are not careful, they can still take you hit. But they are not the most dangerous thing. One thing which is also significant for this level are these moving spikes. They act like normal spikes, but as you can see, they just appear and disappear. If you stand on this place where they are down, they don't do anything, but if you jump step on them, that is not good for your health. There are also introduced of these buttons. If there is something on them, you usually activate something, and you can basically push sometimes items, and basically they are like little like mini puzzles. I don't think they are like anything terrible. These spikes on the top of this contraption, they look not like normal spikes. Sometimes this is actually, see, sometimes there are some, this is another thing. Sometimes there are some things which kind of reset if they are not on the screen. So if I look down, the spikes are here. So yeah, this is basically because far as I remember, original like Sega Genesis really wasn't unable like load entire level. So basically the part of your level which you can see is like only part which is loaded, which means now it's not loaded, and now when I look up it's become loaded and it's so reset. There is actually these things happening quite more frequently. Other than that, I think this is pretty much it for this level. They are just lava everywhere, and in terms of enemies, I don't think there's anything new except things which I said. There's these worms and these bats, and I think that's pretty much it for this level. So yeah, we move on, and I will see you when I reach boss. So give me a sec. I will be in a second. And once again, I forget something mentioned. There are also these falling blocks. I believe they're only in this section of the game. If you go really fast in this section, then you can accidentally jump and lava. So you better be careful so they don't fall on your head. And there is also things like this. So these things usually move by themselves, and you can jump on top of them, and sometimes they can lead in a secret level, which is nice, but sometimes they don't. This thing actually go another place. They can take me somewhere where I didn't before. No, it's taken. Okay, so yeah, now I see you on the boss. I believe. I hope so. If there is something more which I forget, I'll be back, but I think that's it. So give me a sec. Okay, so there is another boss here who is a little more dangerous than the previous one. He, however, don't do anything like crazy. Everything is about timing. He just flying and like throw some fire on a platform, and then you have limited time to jump another one, and you can also score a few hits. Like you can do one or two. It's like if you like take him down really quickly, you can go crazy. But if you wanna make this like easier for yourself, just need to be a little bit more patient and take just a one or two hits, and you will be fine. Nothing specific, not exactly challenge. Compared to the rest of the level, this boss is relatively easy, nothing special. But yeah, that is the marble zone. So yeah, so I will see you in the next level. Actually, I don't need to stop recording. I can go right here from this point because it's right here. Okay, so this is another level which is I think it's actually easier than previous one, and I can like bouncing like crazy if I can take advantage from that infinite bouncing which I mentioned before. There is actually some situations I usually doing this because I believe it's giving me a little more time to aiming for enemies, because I usually bouncing on them. There is lots of spring in this level, lots of hidden places, and I don't think it's actually like super difficult this level. It's a little faster than previous one because there is no any like caves and stuff, and you can like go here. I like really fast. I don't believe there is anything like crazy new. There's these bumpers which giving you 10 points if you hit them, but they can give you total of 100 points, I believe. But honestly, I don't think you really don't need care about this because as I said, points really don't do anything, and on top of that, like 100 points really isn't that much. Other than that, there is these things which, if you like stand on a section between them, you can be actually crushed by this, or you can take hit from these assholes. Yeah, they can shoot two things. There is also these things which are actually pretty difficult. I believe while they're rolling you cannot hit them, which is a little dangerous. There's a bunch of alternative paths, and yeah, I think I can kill them like this. There's lots of buttons which usually do something. I believe they launch this platform up. And there's also these metal spiky balls, which are actually very dangerous because A, they move, and B, they are in the circle. There are also these smalls, which are little difficult to avoid if your timing is bad. If your timing is good, then you are okay. I really didn't pay that much attention right now because I really don't trying my hardest. I usually do better than right now, but yeah. I believe I mentioned everything which is significant for this level. So I move on, unless there is something which I forget, then I continue and mention this later. But yeah, I think I cover everything which is significant for this level. So give me a sec, I will see you after I meet a final boss here. So yeah, I did forget something, and this is these enemies. I believe they are only at this level, but these are actually relatively dangerous because they cannot be hit from up. This is exactly that type of enemy which can be taken down by rolling. If I try and like jump on them, it won't work. So if I really want to take them down, then I need rolling, which is a little difficult because there is many places where they are on these really tiny platforms, so you have really little space to jump on them, and even if you do, then by rolling you get too much speed and you accidentally can fall from place like this. But at the same time, you can do things like this. And yes, again, I get too much speed here. So yeah, so let me go to final boss. Okay, I'm back. Actually, this is still not a final boss. I want to show you something else. Do you remember when I talk about that infinite jumping? If you can like basically master this feature, you can take advantage of it. This is one of the places where you can do it. Like if I go down, there's actually this thing. If I like jump on it, see, I will like really not too much. However, give me a sec. Take advantage from no. I'm loading. Let's load this. So if I jump, if I doing this by rolling, bam! I can do this. And if I let me do this again. If I jump and hold the jump button this all time, I can go even higher. So as I said, this is something which is really don't play too big role, and there is not too many situations where you can get an advantage from this, but this is one of those places where you can totally do this. Of course, you need to know levels, you need to know this power up is here, and your timing and your aiming must be correct, otherwise it just won't help. But yeah, there is not too many occasions where you can like take this as your advantage, but if you do, it is really satisfying. Let's move on. And finally we have a boss. This one is really not difficult, but it is like you need to be really fast because he basically destroying these blocks, which is like, it is not super difficult to hit him. By the way, when I hit him and he like start to blink for a split of second, then like during that time he really can't do too much damage to him. But if you wait too long in this level, he eventually destroy these blocks and you die, or if you don't have any rings, obviously. Other than that, he is really not like super difficult. I just died because I forget to get some rings. I was a little rushed here, I guess. But yeah, other than that, he really isn't too much difficult. So let's see if I can take him down this time. Oh, come on, really? Oh, come on, really? You know what? Let's do a little trick here. I don't know if I'll be able to do this correctly, so let's save here. And we can do this. Okay. Bam! And if you are fast, you can do this while you are... Oh, come on, really? Well, I'm doing really badly. I didn't play this for some time. Okay. Let's load. Because why not? This is actually a little awkward. Like, first Sonic the Hedgehog is a game which... Nope. That was incorrect. Let's try this again. Nope. Nope. One more time. Nope. Like I said, your aiming need to be good, otherwise you don't go anywhere. Come on, really? Nope. Let's see if I can do it better this time. Yes, finally, revenge. So yeah, he is not like super difficult, but if you are not careful, you can take a hit. You need to rush, but you cannot rush too much, because otherwise he will take you down. A little more tricky than previous one, because if you are too slow, then you will die. If you risking too much, you need to find the balance between safe and fast. But from here we can transition into labyrinth zone. I'm pretty sure this is for most people the most less favorite level. I don't think anyone will like this level because, as we know, Sonic can swim and he is underwater. There is these enemies which are significant for this level. They are usually underground. You can tell there is like a little tiny spike, and if you go far close, they jump out. Surprisingly, you can hit them in a spike and you don't take any damage. Which is surprising, but usually like they are really they're dangerous, not necessarily because how they attack, more because you really can tell they are here and they can surprise you. If you play games many times, then you can basically tell they are here. And as you can see, I'm losing air, which is another thing which is significant. You can basically reclaim your supply of air of these, but then if you're low on air, you're on oxygen, you can hear this like quite ding. If you don't pay attention, you can miss it, but it's basically telling you like you're losing air. The one thing which is really significant for this level, if you hear that music which basically telling you you don't have enough air, which I demonstrate right now. Come on. Yeah, so this is something which had tendency like make people nervous, and with you can like start really easily panicking. The one and if you start to panicking, that can actually do more damage than lack of air itself. Keep in mind when you start the numbers showing, like at this point you still have 5 seconds, which even underwater is still quite a lot. So you need like keep your focus and like don't panic and everything is okay. I don't remember how many times I like take a hit because I panicked here. So if you are okay, if you are cool, if you can keep your cool and progress slowly, then you should be okay. Another enemy here are these robotic fishes, which they really are like not exactly dangerous. They are slow, they don't shoot, they really don't do anything. Like if you start falling, if you are on a platform like this, well, that actually wasn't exactly the best demonstration. Never go like down from platform, just like well, let me actually demonstrate this for a second. Never do this, because usually there can be some things under you and you can take a hit. If you jump from high place to low place, always jump with the jumping. It's much better method, because these fishes which I mentioned before, they really are not like super dangerous, but if you don't jump on them, they can still take you hit, and they usually place us in some, like the placement is bigger problem than they themselves. There is also lots of these spiky balls, and they are pretty dangerous because unlike you, they can move really fast while you are underwater, so timing is the key, and they are all over the place. So I think they are one of the most dangerous things in this level. I believe there is also these things. See, this is one of those things which I said before. It's like sometimes springs. Okay, that was awkward. Spring can sometimes take you in a place. What? From the beginning? Really? I was thinking like maybe I have some circle, but it seems I was wrong. So let's move on. Let's do this fast as I can possibly can, because I don't want to waste too much time here. I really don't like these levels, and I'm pretty sure I'm not only one, because nobody likes this level. At least I never met somebody who said like, man, I really love water. No. So yeah, let's do this really fast. Let's get some oxygen, because timing is key, and my timing was really bad right now. Okay, there is some more enemies, I believe, which I didn't show yet, because I really didn't need any. Let's see if I can fix that. This is another place where you basically need aiming your jump carefully, because sometimes you want to jump high and sometimes you don't. This is another example where like this working. For example, here there is like spikes here, which mean if I jump too high, that is bad for me. So this is another one of those occasions where you need to you can take advantage from your and this is what I did was exactly opposite which I supposed to do normally. And here is a checkpoint. Okay, that's nice. Checkpoint. Okay, here is another thing which I want to have, and that is these things, these spikes. Unlike traditional spikes, which are completely underground, these can actually take you hit even if they are down. It is just if they are down, that it is like easier to avoiding them, but they can still do damage to you. So be careful because they are really tricky, and again, timing is the key. And my timing was really bad once again. Damn it. Okay, really? Nice. And of course, there is one thing which I didn't mention because I think it's kind of obvious. Even if you play this game on PC, like I do right now, it's always better play this with the gamepad. Like, you should be perfectly okay even if you play it on keyboard, but obviously on gamepad is much better. There is also these things which look a little like cheese, I think, but they're floating on water, so that's a good thing. And I believe there is one more enemy which I think it's actually here. Oh yes, these are these things. They throwing these spiky balls, which is a little dangerous, especially if they appear someplace where you cannot avoid them. But after they throw all, they are completely harmless. They move your direction, so that is a little tricky. But yeah, there's also these heads which like shooting projectiles on you. There are also another thing which is significant for this level is the water level is at some points go down or up, and usually it's take a moment. So if you like on certain places, it can be crushed, like things which normally trying to float, and like big things which make like these things are really dangerous because there is a little trick which you can do. You can like do this and get some extra air here. Yeah, but like biggest problem with this level is you are like super slow, and that's make avoiding some things really dangerous. I really don't wanna from here. I really wanna jump directly in the next level, because this level basically have no boss. Like there is technically Eggman slash Robotnik is technically here, but he really don't do anything. You just going through this corridor where it's just a bunch of obstacles, and water is behind you, which kind of make this a little more difficult. But that's it. There's really nothing to do. Only thing which you need to do is like go down. I don't think going up, and I don't think it's you can actually destroy him. I believe it is not possible. And even if you do, that really don't mean anything. You just need to just go up, and that's it. So yeah, I think that is everything for this level. So I will see you on the next level, because as I said, there is basically no boss level here. There's basically no boss in this zone. So I will see you in the next zone. Okay, we are in another zone, Starlight Zone, which I think it's probably my favorite zone, and I'm sure I'm not only one. Because after Labyrinth, which is like really slow, and all previous, basically most of the previous zones, which are really slow, this one is once again one of those fast zones which can let you move like really quickly. That is actually a nice bonus, right? And as you can see, I just bounced rolling down by rolling, and I can profit from that infinite bouncing. So yeah, this zone is fast, and it's really one of my favorite zones. Again, there's few more things. First, there are these enemies which are actually dangerous. They cannot be destroyed. If you go closer, then they have like this time limit, go fast, and these projectiles actually aiming directly for you, so if you just stand nearby you probably get hit. So recommended approach is basically B and move. This is another one of those things where things which are not on a screen are not loaded, so you can basically take advantage from this, and you can basically go here and you can basically go this, bam, and you can score extra life. And my experience, most of the time you can go up or down. If you go upward, upward is usually more safe path. There is also these things, they are same like their cousins for Labyrinth Zone, except these guys really don't shoot anything. So you can, if they are in position, you can do this. You can actually destroy them by taking hit and take advantage from invisibility frame, which I didn't because I am too slow. Damn it. Well, that was awkward. Yeah, there's these fans which basically pushing you certain direction. You can go from another side. They surprisingly don't do damage to you, they just pushing you. So there are also these things, you can hit them and they will go down. In one version of Sonic, if you like stay between them, they can actually kill you, because the way how game works, it's count like being crushed. I don't think if this is the case in this version, I don't know. So let's see, yeah, here's another of those guys. So if you really can hit them, you can hit them just jumping around them, except you need to be extremely precise, and your timing needs to be nearly perfect. If it's not, you take a hit. But you can also get advantage from invisibility frame and kill them like this. But most of the time it's not worth it. It is much easier at avoiding them, because you really just scored a few insignificant points. There are also these things which I forget, they are in a Labyrinth Zone and they are here as well. And this is another occasion where you can see things which are not in a screen, are not loaded. So even if this thing is really close to me and shoot at me, if I just go just a few steps here, it's no longer shoot at me. There are also these platforms which are all over the place this level, and sometimes they can go in an alternative paths. So yeah, I believe, no, this is actually not everything which is in this level. I totally forgot. These things actually can sometimes work and sometimes they don't. So let me move, because there is, bam, infinite bouncing again. There is one more thing here, which I forget. Yeah, as you can see, this level is also possible to do very quickly, because not is necessarily short, but it is really fast. Like Labyrinth or Marble Zone or Order Zone, they are not like longer. They just feels longer because, well, they are like things which need avoid. And sometimes if you, this is another thing, if Sonic's really it really isn't like difficult game as I said before, but if you become like too confident, you can take some like really nasty hits, and it's not a good thing to happen. There is also these, what the hell, these loops which can make you move like ridiculous. But this is something which happens sometimes. You have this thing, and I believe it's happened if I hold the button down the whole time. So let's see if I do this. Nope, it's still happening. Okay, so I don't know what exactly is happening. Yeah, so we have these things here. So if I'm in move, they are not dangerous. Let's move on, and There's one more thing which I want to show in this level. Okay, I need to build a little more speed here. So I can move on as a one more thing here. There are these things here and what is it? Oh yes, this thing. So how this thing works, if you launch this ball and you have this like swing effect, and the higher you fall, then higher more energy you build, and this is launch. This can actually launch you pretty high sometimes and get some another space. It's not as difficult as it looks like. You just need to be careful because basically there is universal rule. Everything which has spikes or everything which glowing can usually like kill you. So you need to be careful. Can I go up or down? Okay. But I think this is like everything which is in this level, and as you can see I was able to finish the level once again really quickly. Another thing which is significant in this level, one of the reasons why going up is safer, because I have a feeling it's usually much more safe in the first place. And the second it go like down, then down there is like tons of bottomless pits. So my advice is go make yourself a favor and go like up. It is usually faster and it is also usually much safer. Other than that, I think you know what, I wanna finish this level in one place because it's really easy unless you do something like this. And it's not too long, so I wanna do final boss here, which is really easy to do. As I said, this level is short and it's no big deal. And this is one of the reasons why I like this level. There is one thing which I forget to mention before. Even if they are like all kinds of things which are significant for certain levels, there are occasionally you can find these things like this thing. Far as I know, this is the only place in this level where you can find something like this, and it's nowhere else. So sometimes there are like things which are significant for a specific level, and sometimes there are things which are just in this one place and it's nowhere else, I think. So let me do this. Nope, I need to go higher. And I believe I can go up. Yes, I totally can. Okay, so let me do this and we have a final boss. This one is really easy. You can basically use these to launch itself. Unlike usual spiky balls, these actually explode. As you can see, they blink red if you are to. You can hit a boss by yourself or with these. So the one thing which usually work best for me is like jumping them all over the place, and like unless you go like crazy, it's usually really easy. Like you need just avoid the balls and you should be okay. You can do this or this. Like I said, it's really super easy. This level is like really relaxing compared to the previous one, because as I said before, there is not too much thing here, and yeah, it's really fast, really easy. As you can see, I was able to do whole thing like on one try. So from here we can move at another level. which is, I believe, oh yes, Scarborough. This is basically the last level on the game, and as you can expect, this level is definitely the hardest level in the game. I wouldn't say like Labyrinth is difficult. It is more like annoying. If you have patience and if you are careful, then Labyrinth really isn't that bad. This level, however, it's dangerous because everything on this place wants you dead. First, there's these things which constantly moving, and usually they lead into traps or enemies. They are all over the place. There are also these flames which are also all over the place. They are not difficult to avoid, but if you are not careful, you can take a hit. There are, as I said, usually one thing which is difficult, they looks like part of a level, and when they are not active, you can easily miss them and take some surprising hit, which is a little tricky. There are also these things. If they rotate, you can basically jump through them, but of course you need timing. As you can see, my timing is pretty bad here, but sometimes I can do this. And if you do things correctly, you can hit them like a pro. There's also this disappearing platform, which is a little tricky. There is most of the time like your old enemies. I don't believe there is too many of those which are actually new here. But yeah, you need to be really careful because there, as I said, everything in this level, and I mean everything, want you dead. And what I did just right now was really dangerous, because usually there are also these things which create these like a little spark, which are also dangerous. There is a bunch of platforms which usually lead to your death, so timing is the key, because like I said, this place want you dead, like deader than dead. They also these things, if you jump on them, they disappear. So what you need to do, this is another situation where you need to control over your jump. If you jump on this thing, it's like immediately it's activated. So you really don't want to jump high in this spot, because if I just jumps right on this thing, this is what happened and I'm still down. So I need to jump on this first, and then I need to do like more jumping. I need to do this, and I'm fine. So this place is full of all kinds of nasty surprises, like many disappearing blocks, many traps which are all over the place. Timing is the key, and you need to be like really prepared for this level. There is, I believe, only level enemy which is significant for this level, and that has these robotic bears. They can be a little dangerous because these bomb kind of bouncing, and if you don't avoiding them properly, you can take a hit. So, and one thing which make them dangerous, because they usually are here, and if you are in this place, it is really difficult avoiding them. So be careful, because they can be a little more difficult, and sometimes there are two of them at the same time. So as I said, there are traps, there is tons of enemies, many things which really want you dead. But if you are careful, you can do this live. You just need to be prepared, because this is a last level in the game and it is properly challenging. So that is another thing. Scarbring 2 is actually really interesting, because it seems to be like in underground, I think. I should probably, just to be sure, save. I usually don't die too much, but you never know. I'm like focused or talking things, and I can do mistakes which I usually don't do. So this second level is even more dangerous than first one, because there is even more things which wanna kill you. So let me show you some of these things. And as I said, usually up is a little more safe. So these things open and go. So again, you need good timing. And this is another occasion where springs can send you back. And another situation, you really don't want to jump too high, because as you can see, these things shooting these electric discharges really fast. So it is a really high chance to take a hit. So basically for this level you need pretty much master of sonic control. The nice thing is, if these things are not on a screen, they really don't explode, and that's nice. There is also of course tons of spikes, balls and all kind of things, because as I said, this place is pretty brutal. Like even I with my experience with the Sonic game can get hit sometimes, and then there's also places like this which are in constant movement, and I think still they can take hits. So yeah, there's also these tubes which I don't know if you can actually decide. Sometimes they get you up, sometimes they get you down. I think some of them, if you hold up or down, I think sometimes you can decide if you want to go up or down, but I'm not sure. I think this may be just thing. Here is another thing which is really significant here, and that is these convertible belt. These things really crash you down. Like if you wanna avoid this, then you basically need, like again, master sonic control, because if you go too far, too soon or too late, then you will be crashed. So again, time is the key. So let me try if I can do this. And this one actually move an opposite direction. And yes, I did it safely. And here is another trap. So again, I take hit. So this place is definitely really dangerous, really challenging. But if you are used to it, after you become like a little more careful about where you stand and things which are happening, then you should be pretty much okay. And if there is something like this, you could be sure down is definitely something which can kill you. Sometimes it's bottomless pits, sometimes it's just of traps. And we actually need another thing, which are these saw blades. These things don't crush you, so if you have rings, then you can take a hit, but they, again, it's about timing and my timing, and sometimes they randomly appear here where they don't supposed to be. So yeah, this place is dangerous. I believe I covered everything which is important about this level, but I think I can continue because I think I am actually close the end of this level, I believe. Let's see. Yes, and I'm really reckless here right now. Oh yes, this is level. And this is end of the level, so that is interesting thing. One thing which is really interesting here, because you are almost before final boss, you have this like cutscene or transition where you basically can see main boss here, except he is like laughing at you, and then he destroyed the bridge and he fell down in a scrap brain free. Scrap brain free, for some reason, don't look like a scrap brain. It's look like labyrinth with different colors, which I really don't know why. I guess it's supposed to look like a silver. Even like water half is weird color. That is actually basically only thing which you need to do here is find the end reach of the level. There is not, this scrub brain free has not have no its own boss. Instead, you have this labyrinth looking thingy, and there is actually a nice shortcut. If you can move faster before this platform reach this point, you can go here, and it is much shorter. Other than this is basically like labyrinth. Everything which was in labyrinth is here. It is just slightly different color. That's it. I really don't know why this level is done this way. I believe it has a scrub brain music, which I can tell because I cannot hear it because I reduced the volume like a minimal value, so it is possible. So I will stop here, and from there we continue the final boss. So give me a sec, I will be right back. And finally, we are in final boss. There is no rings available here, so you must be like just you and him. There is basically no like second gen. But to be perfectly honest, he is like ridiculously easy. You can just avoid these lightning balls, and like if you really want, you can just stay here. That's the place where you cannot be crushed, and that's it. That's the only thing what he do. Like if you are patient, if you wanna be like more aggressive, you can, but I don't think it's actually necessary. He can like avoiding you. Only bad thing about this level is his position, like which to where he is. I believe it's randomly generated. There is no like any specific like rule, so it's really easy. For last boss, it's actually a little disappointing because I mean, sure, you have no rings, but these things are really easy to avoid, especially if you like after you like been through the scrub brain level, then there are things which are much more challenging than this part. So you basically pretty much practice enough, and you have like unless something distract you, like I'm talking right now, which means I need to focus or talking and at the same time like play, so I can accidentally score strike. But I usually doing this on my first try. I usually have no problems with this final boss. Like I said, for final boss, this is really easy to do, and after you score enough hits, it is over. So you just need to be a little patient, and if you are, you can score your final hit relatively easily, and that's it. I believe now when I think about it, I think the position these balls may actually showing you position of enemy. That's actually maybe thing. I'm not sure. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it looks like they go and look like very. After you do enough hits, that's it. So yeah, for final boss this is really easy. If you try escape, if you want, you can give him last hit, but it really don't do anything. And by doing this, you basically win the game. There is this last screen where you can basically accompany all these animals which you save. So back in the green hill, and that's it. If you have all Chaos Emerald, the ending is slightly different, but as I said, it's really don't do anything. And from here we have the credits. So yeah, I did a deconstruction of game, and I try to talk about everything which is game. I try to cover all Sonic movements, so all his enemies, all levels, everything which is significant for the game. There is possibility I forget mention a few things, like for example this section right here. You're supposed to be on this like a platform which flow on the top of the lava, but if you're a pro you can actually jump over this by yourself if you really want. But yeah, these are just a small details. I believe I talk about everything important. And there is, like I said, there is chance I miss few things. This is one of those sections where are only this place. I don't believe there are anywhere else, but yeah. I think I cover everything which is important in the game. So that was my deconstruction of Sonic the Hedgehog first game, and I definitely want to do other Sonic games as well because I really want to give Sonic some love, and he is definitely the coolest character which I know. And I spent basically my entire childhood by playing this game, and I love this game. It is really good. From here, other Sonic's game, I believe they are infinitely, no, not infinitely, but much better because they basically get the formula which work and make it even better. But this is story for another time. I deconstruct this game and I do others, and yeah, this is probably a really long video, longer than I usually doing, but that is okay. I have a fun time because I basically reply, yes, this is exactly what I'm saying. Like, I didn't score, like, I scored 1 Chaos Emerald, so laugh, Eggman, you can laugh now, but I will settle score for you later. But yeah, that's it. And we are back in Steam. So, I have really good times with this game. There were some times where I tried some ridiculous things. There is cheat code which I can give. I believe it's like, oh, let's see if I remember this. No, I probably do this incorrectly. So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog, definitely great game, and I really hope you enjoy my deconstruction much I enjoy this game, and I will see you next time with Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which add few things, improve few things, and I think it's generally even better game than this one, which is mind-blowing if you realize this game is already pretty good. Good thing is I can skip the initial part when I'm explaining Sonic moveset, except things which are new in the game. So yeah, so thanks for your time, and if you wanna come join me on the Sonic 2, I hope I will see you there, and until then, yeah, next time.